In this video, we are going to work on Java IO assignments. Already in theory session, we have seen all the briefings about how Java is handling IOs with the help of streams. We know that there are two types of the stream. One is byte stream and another one is character stream. The meaning of byte stream means IO operations or the data transfer happens byte by byte, and character stream means the IO operation or data transfer happens character by character. The two base level abstract classes are input stream and output stream with respect to byte streaming, and reader and writer with respect to character streaming. So let me share my screen and let's move on into the assignments. While looking into this assignments, if you stuck up anywhere, you please refer to the theoretical notes that we have already seen and written into the theory sessions. Here, let's move into, this is our first assignment. Write a Java program to accept array from user using buffer reader. Already we have done this with respect to the scanner class in our earlier array assignment sessions. But now this time we are going to use buffer reader, and we know how it is going to accept it from the keyboard with the help of buffer reader. From keyboard, system.in is collecting the data that it passes to the input stream reader, and input stream reader passes it to the buffer reader. In this, we are going to accept strings from the buffer reader. We'll parse it into the integer and we'll try to store it into the integer array, right? So in the Eclipse, I have created one project with the name as Java IO assignments, and under that in package one, I have created array acceptance.java. So let's move into this. So we know like how to go on constructing the array. Let's say that I want to go with key is a reference variable of type integer array and new array of type integer, and I want to have 5 elements into it. Later on, you can just modify it for how many elements user wants, and accordingly those many elements can be constructed in the arrays. So let's see. So here I'll go with prompting the user that enter array elements, and to accept the array elements, this time we want to use a buffer reader. As it is belonging to IO section, we need to take it through the suggestion so that automatic import we get buffer reader br is equal to new buffer reader. It is in need of reader as one of the input in constructor. So in this case, we'll go with new input stream reader, and this input stream reader we will be passing system.in, right? And then we need to use a for loop for accepting array elements. I'll use indexing starting from 0 till I must be less than key ka length, and then I'll go with I plus plus, right? Here I'll prompt the user that enter element, and to accept the element this time, we will be accepting it into the key of I. But this key of I is in need of integer type of element because we are going to store the array elements in the integer form. So what we need to do is br.readline. We have this function br.readline, which is going to give us the inputs, accepted inputs in the string format, and we need to parse it into the integer. So what we'll do is we'll go with integer dot parseInt, and in percent we'll be mentioning br dot read line. So simplest understanding of this line is accept the input in the string form with the help of br dot read line, parse it into the integer and assign it to the key of I. Compiler gives us the error, and this is a famous one that we discussed already in theory session, that unhandled exception of type IO exception. Whenever you are trying to accept the inputs in the program, it is always checked, right? So as it is a checked exception, there is a rule that either handle it or declare it, right? So this time we'll go on declaring it with the help of throws clause, and we'll be throwing the exceptions, right? Okay, so after accepting this, what we'll do is we'll close the stream. So let's see that can we be able to accept it. If we remove this ln, then we'll be able to accept it on the same line or not. Let's check out this. So it says that enter array elements. Okay, so this loop works for 5 times, as we have 5 elements in the integer array. Now next is we need to display these elements, and here we'll say that array elements are, and with the help of enhanced for loop we'll go on displaying the array elements. Element is plus x. Let's see how it works. Array elements are this. Simple one. The new thing that we are able to understand here, the new wisdom level can be acquired as how to accept the inputs from the buffer reader. So let's move into the next assignment. Next one is write a Java program to accept multiple strings from the user till user enters stop. So this time, instead of accepting it in integer form, we'll be accepting it into the strings, and we'll try to keep it into the strings array itself. Stored all the enter strings into strings array. Display all the strings entered by the user as an output. This one is again array handling, but instead of accepting the strings with the help of scanner, this time we'll be accepting it with the help of buffer reader. And I'll show you how to go for initialization or construction of buffer reader object in different way as compared to the previous one. So let's move. We'll be considering this particular assignment as user wants to enter some strings into the editor. So let's give the name to the program as editor. Inside this main, and यहाँ पे I'll go with sysout as enter strings in editor, enter stop to finish, right? Okay, and let's see how it looks. Enter strings in editor, enter stop to finish, right? Now to accept all the strings we need one array, so I'll go with name of the array as, I'll keep it as editor is equal to new string. Let us say I want to keep a array of 20 strings, right? And the name of the array is, or the reference variable which is referring to the array object is editor. Now I want to go with the for loop so that we can go on accepting the strings one by one. So here I'll go with I is equal to 0. I must be less than editor dot length and then I plus plus, right? But before that, for this acceptance, we are in need of the buffer reader. And this time I'll go with a different way of initialization of buffer reader. So please observe this very carefully. So instead of constructing buffer reader first, I'll be constructing input stream reader. Input stream reader ISR is equal to new input stream reader, and this time I'll go with system.in, and then I'll construct buffer reader br is equal to new buffer reader, and I'll be passing ISR. So in earlier code, we were doing this thing with the help of something like this, but this time we'll be doing it instead of one line, we'll be doing it in two different lines. I hope you're able to understand this. You can go with any one that you feel prefer to go on using. Right, so in this case, whatever the string that user is going to enter, we'll be collecting it into, let us say, string, or you can directly put it into the editor of I is equal to br dot read line. Then obviously, while accepting the strings with the help of br.readline, it gives us the famous compilation error, that is with respect to the checked exception. We know the rule is either handle or declare. This time we'll go on declaring it exception. And if the user entered string is stop, so if editor I dot equals ignore case करेंगे, and that is stop, then I'll break this for loop, right? Okay, so let's see the next one. Now, if I want to display the strings entered by the user, I want to display the strings which are present in the editor, right? This time watch it very carefully. So here we'll go with the sysout as contents are for loop, enhanced for loop के साथ चलते हैं, string x, and the name of the array is editor, right? Now we need to make some modifications while displaying the string, but let us first see what is the outcome that is given by this much code, right? So when I run this, enter the strings in editor, enter stop to finish. This is my first string. I love Java. Java is simple. IO operations in Java are more simple. And then I'll say stop, right? So stop आने के बाद my program should stop accepting the inputs, no doubt. It has stopped accepting the inputs, but what about this? Now, if you are able to understand why this is printing null, because this array is array of references. So if the reference is not set to any particular string, it will always hold null. That is the proof. But we don't want to show the stop as well as null. So how we can make sure that our program is not going to display the stop as well as null? So before printing anything, we need to check if x dot equals ignore case, and if it is stop, then we'll break this for loop so that it should not go on displaying this, right? Okay, let's see. Java CPP. Java is simple. C is amazing. And stop. Please see. Ampersand, Java, CCPP, Java is simple, C is amazing, right? So now my program is not displaying the stop as well as it is not displaying the remaining null entities which are present into the array. I hope this is clear. Let's move into the next one. This time we'll try to write some bytes into the file. So write a Java program to create a file on the disk. Write a single character in a file using byte streaming. So let us see, if it is a byte streaming, we need to use the input stream and output stream. And if it is with respect to the file, we need to use file output stream and file input stream, right? So let us first try to write a single byte into the file with the help of file output stream. So simple code, let's move on. I'll give the name to this particular code as file1. Right. Now, if I want to write into the file with the help of file output stream, I need to construct an object of file output stream FOS is equal to new file object output stream, and file output stream or file writer as well as file input stream or file reader, you're supposed to pass on the file on which it is going to perform some input and output operations. So here I'll go on giving the name as, let us say my file name is let us say file1.txt, right? Okay, now the moment I write this statement, compiler gives me the error message that is unhandled exception of file not found exception. Please see, when the file output stream is trying to write into the file, and if that file is not present on the disk, obviously it is going to generate an exception. So it comes under the java.io's file not found exception, which is a checked. And we know that checked exception either handle it or declare it, right? So if you want to handle it, we need to put it into the try and catch block, right? Okay, and in the catch, we'll keep it as exception. And here we'll mention something as file errors, right? Okay, now obviously next question comes is like in your mind, if I want to write something into the file1.txt, what about the file creation? Whenever you are passing any file name for writing into it, if that file is not present on the disk, then writer or output stream, file output stream objects are going to create that file first onto the disk, and then it is going to write into the file. So let's see how it is going to write it. So I'm just saying FOS dot write, and if you observe this write three functions, I'll be using this one which is going to accept the integer value, and I'm passing, let us say, integer value 65, right? And then I'm saying FOS dot close, right? I'm closing the stream, and here to indicate that our write operation is successful, will be printing the word as or printing the string as, let us say, success in file write, right? Let's run the code and check out what is happening. So it says that success in file write operation. That means the control has reached to the line number 15 in this code. That means all these three lines execution is perfectly complete. So let us try to see whether my file is created and 65 byte value is written into it or not. So when I look into this, this machine's test workspace is test, and inside this Java IO assignments, and here I am inside the source in package 1, right? Okay, let me check whether the file is created or not. Where it has been created. Okay, it has been created in the test as a workspace, and this is the file 1. And please see that single character A has been written into it, right? Okay, so why A has written into it? Because we have written 65 as a byte value, and that byte value can be observed in the terms of characters in this particular file. So this is how you can write a single byte into the file with the help of file output stream, right? Okay, now let's go with the next one, where in the next one, what we'll try to do is write a Java program to create a file on a disk, write a string in a file using byte streaming. Now for writing the string into the file, we should use character streaming, but with the help of byte streaming also we can go on writing that string. But use class file output stream for writing into the file, no doubt. But convert all characters from strings into byte array first and then write it into the file. So this one will be using again file output stream, but this time we'll be accepting the string from the user. We'll convert it into the byte array, and that byte array can be written into the file. So please observe how we can go on doing this, right? So what I'll do is this particular file we have created we have created this under the test as a workspace for my project, but I'll be doing the creating the next file inside this package 1 under the Java IO assignments, right? Okay, so here I'll be creating the new file as new class as file 2, right? Okay, and in this main, let's create the file output stream first. FOS is equal to new file output stream, and this time I'll be writing it into the file2.txt, right? When it says that it may suffer with the exception as file not found exceptions, either we can write it in the try catch or we can go with the throws as a declaration. Let's put it in the try catch, and in this case I'll go with exception E, and we'll put a sys out as, let us say, file error, right? Okay, and here I'll take one string, let us say str. Java is simple, and let's convert this string into the byte array. Is equal to str dot get bytes करके एक function है, please observe. It is given by the string class and it converts the array into the byte array, right? Okay, and get bytes, and now this bytes I can write it into the file with the help of FOS. So FOS dot write function, where I'll be passing this B array, and FOS dot I'll be closing this stream, right? Okay, यहाँ पे एक sys out लिखते हैं, file write success, right? Okay, and let's go on checking whether this code works or not. I'll run this code to check file write success. That means all these lines inside the main till this point are successfully executed, right? So let's observe into the test as a workspace. Our programs are in Java IO assignments. Please observe the file2 has been created. And if I open the file consists of Java is simple as a string. We converted this string into the byte array, and that byte array has been written into the file with the help of file output string. Right? I hope this simple one is clear, where we experienced how to write something into the file with the help of file output string, a single byte or an array of bytes, right? Let's move into the next one. And this time we'll try to read something from the file with the help of byte streaming. So the next assignment says, write a Java program to read a single character. एक ही पहला byte जो file का है वो read करेंगे. And we know that in our file अभी जो create किया है, let us see that file is, let me check out, यहाँ पे file2 में Java is simple is a string that has been written. हम लोग इस j को read करने की कोशिश करते हैं, which is the first byte within the file, right? Okay, so let's see how we can go ahead with this. So here I'll create a new class, let us say file3, and here this time to accept or to read the bytes with the help of byte streaming from the file, we'll use the class known as file input stream. File input stream, I'll go with FIS is equal to new file input stream, and कौन से file से read करना है, so let us say file2.txt से, right? Now, obviously it will generate the error with respect to file not found. We'll go with surround with try catch, right? Okay, so what we'll do here is, and I'll say I is equal to FIS dot read, because it goes on reading the single byte, right? Okay, and let's check what it says. So it again goes with the IO exception. So what we can do is, यहाँ पे ये बड़ा exception के साथ इसको handle करते हैं, right? Okay, now in this case, I'll simply say this out. First byte of file is, right? Okay, and plus करके what I'll do is, इसको character में convert करके हम लोग इस I को display करेंगे, right? Okay, and I'll say FIS dot close, right? Okay, so let's see when I run the code, and the first byte of the file is, let us say J. Simplest one, file input stream से हम लोग एक string को read कर पाए, sorry, एक byte को read कर पाए, and that is displayed in the form of character into this program, right? Now what we'll do is, in the next code, we'll try to read the entire string which is present into the file with the help of byte streaming again. So write a Java program to read a string from the file using the byte streaming. Use class file input stream for reading from the file, right? Okay, so same one, इसी file से हम लोग read करने की कोशिश करेंगे. I'll go with the new, that is class, and this time it's a file4. Fourth operation that we'll try to do. Here we'll go with the main. Again, I need here file input stream. Let us say FIS is equal to new file input stream. We'll be reading from that file2.txt, जहाँ पे हम लोगों ने write किया है Java is simple, right? Okay, यहाँ पे declare करेंगे throws exception. Throws exception, right? Okay, and now what we'll do is, now character by character will or the byte by byte data will try to read it from file2.txt. Now in this case, what happens is, when we try to read the last character, how to recognize the last character, that is the important aspect into this. So when we'll keep on reading from the file, if we get -1 value from this FIS object, which indicates that the end of the file has been reached. So we need to work across that. So what we'll do is this out. Here we'll say file contents are, right? Okay, and here we'll go with integer I is equal to 0. एक integer value को initialize करते हैं and यहाँ पे while we'll go with I is equal to FIS dot read करेंगे integer and उसने दिया हुआ integer if it is not equal to -1, right? ये condition थोड़ा सा जानने की कोशिश करो. I'm trying to read it from the file that I'll keep it in I, and if it is not equal to -1, so जब तक ये -1 नहीं हो रहा है तब तक we'll keep on printing this, the value of I, and that too I'll convert it into what? Character, right? Okay, once I come out of this, I'll say FIS dot close, and let's give a try to check out whether it is working or not. And file contents are Java is simple, right? Okay, so यहाँ पे एक नया wisdom level भी आपको मिल रहा है. So when we are reading it with the help of byte streaming, the end of the file is indicated by what? -1, right? Okay, I hope this is clear. So, okay, so please do all this code. If you come across any of the error, take a snapshot and forward it to me immediately. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.